before we get into a bit of an extra long press conference, we should talk about the Coyotes agreement with the ASU. Katie Strang and Sean Shapiro, both friends of the show, have just done some unbelievable work on this situation. And obviously, CJ mentioned it yesterday in the show, and he's like, unless it's a crazy environment to play in, which it can't be if they're going to charge $400 a ticket. It's going to be very, very interesting to see how this goes. Sports Interaction is your home for NHL playoff betting. For those teams that you cheer for. Right, Steve?
I bet on the Leafs to win by 2. You don't always win. It's not guaranteed.
I bet on the Leafs to win as well in the seat while we were at the game. I bet on the Leafs plus 1.5 in my bet hit.
In-game.
Unfortunately, on Sports Interaction, I won money on the Leafs losing.
Wait. You bet against them?
No. I bet them to win, but I got plus 1.5 goals.
Oh.
So I live bet. I love live betting the Leafs when they're down, and I did it when they're down 1-0 on sportsinteraction.com, and I won, but the Leafs lost.
So Sports Interaction, you already know, it's Canada's sports book with the most competitive odds. Sports Interaction makes it easy to deposit, easy to play, easy to cash out. Kind of like what Jesse did. Join now and see all the sports betting has to offer. Head to sportsinteraction.com/SDPN. That's sportsinteraction.com/SDPN, which is what Jesse did mid-game. 19 plus. Please play responsibly. Now, according to the agreement between the Coyotes and ASU, they have what's called a good behavior clause. Now, a lot of people were like, well, that's because they're dumb idiots. And that might be true. But I have to tell you that most media contracts contain the same thing. You have that in your deal. I have that in my deal.
It's standard, yeah.
It's pretty standard, right?
With ASU.
When you have a public-facing brand like ASU does and the Coyotes do and Morello does, who's the owner, usually if you're and this is what it says, if you become the subject of adverse publicity, contempt, scandal, or ridicule for violating, quote, widely held principles of public morality, failing to conduct business affairs in a high degree of integrity and honesty, and or failing to act as a good corporate citizen, Arizona State can back out of its deal with the Coyotes. The problem with a contract like that, or a contract clause like that, is that it's hard to enforce, because what's morality?
It's it's one of those ones.
Like when Jerry Jones and his son were caught with a bunch of strippers on camera, did any of the sponsors say, you know what I mean? Like, nobody said anything, but it was sort of like everybody's like, this is really greasy and whatever, but the story just went away, right?
It's kind of the everyone's upset clause.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, it's only enforced if everyone's upset.
That's a good point. So a lot of people made a big deal of that. And I guess I understand why, but the reality is, like Morello, they didn't pay their bills or whatever, but that would be standard. I would think that any clause ever has that.
Yeah, it's got nothing to do with the Coyotes being behind on payments and stuff like that. Although it's in listen. All the elephant in the room. I know Coyotes fans are sick of this. They're such an easy target right now, and a lot of people are going for the easy target for the wrong reasons. And I'm here to tell you there are plenty of right reasons to go after the Arizona Coyotes.
So here's where
you don't need to move the goalposts.
I wanted to hit that one first because I thought that's actually, of all the stuff in this deal that between Arizona State and the Coyotes, I was like, oh, that's the one I would expect to be there.
It makes no sense.
Arizona, like all NHL franchises, is obviously counting on sports gambling to as a revenue source in the future. Morello owns a casino in Vegas, which I did not know. And the Coyotes, Morello is the owner, and the Coyotes already own one of the state's licenses to run wagering operations. However, the Coyotes will not be able to run those operations inside ASU's arena, agreeing that any use of the facility or any part of ASU campus is prohibited for gambling. You can see why there's students and stuff.
Oh, that's been rumored to be part of his business plan for over a year now.
Certainly that is part of his business plan out of the next arena.
Yeah. Now we can't do it here.
But he would have been able
that's years down the road.
Well, and we'll get to that.
Oh my God.
Because that's the thing. How many years down the road? That to me is the most interesting part of this contract. The Coyotes may request an event wagering facility within the zone if regulations change during the 2022 Arizona legislative session, which runs through June 24th, according to the agreement. So that could change. According to the agreement, though, and this is where, speaking about how long will it be until wagering can be a part of this? The Coyotes and ASU are going to meet January 1st, 2025. also known as year 5 of Erik Karlsson's contract. Just want to we judge our years in Erik Karlsson contract years.
We do.
Is in the Southwest we do. It's the longest contract in human history.
All right.
January 1st, 2025, to discuss terms and conditions of extending the lease for 1 year, potentially moving the expiration from June 30th, 2025 to June 30th, 2026. It is May, almost June 2022. So we could see the Coyotes at ASU, not for the 3 planned years, but we told you there would be construction overruns. Could be 4 years of this.
This arena better be the best fucking thing the NHL has ever done.
Their new one. Not ASU,
one.
the one that'll come
Tempe.
after
Tempe.
ASU, which they haven't confirmed that they are going to start building yet. City Council is still up in the air about whether or not they're going to build this building.
And even if
Field of Dreams ass arena, like holy shit.
If they do approve that, then you got to get permits. Then you got to line up financing. Then you got to line up contracting. Then you got to find the stuff to build it with, which, by the way, the pandemic has not really made it easy. If anybody is listening to this and is undergoing renovations, you'll know what I'm talking about. You can't even get roof shingles. So the Coyotes will be limited in securing some partnerships as well. So this is frustrating because, if you're in sales for the Coyotes, your job is to go out there and grab sponsors for the Coyotes. That's not an easy gig. Imagine this, where you're like, well, actually, you won't be able to do all that. Oakview Group, which is the group that put together, I think, Vegas's arena and Seattle's arena, and is currently doing one in Hamilton.
It's the Lewickis, right?
Yeah, the Lewicki brothers, has signed a group of exclusive venue sponsors, which the Coyotes will be required to work with or refrain in selling in that space. So, for instance, okay, if we were going to use, I'm going to use a non-sponsor on this show to make it easy. Let's say that SDPN had a big partnership opportunity with Tim Horton.
There you go.
Tim Hortons.
Why don't you just use not a real brand?
Not a real brand. Jim Norton.
Stan McKenna Donuts.
Stan
There you
Mikita
go.
Donuts. There you go. I like that. Stan Mikita Donuts. They do donuts and they do coffee, and that's what they're known for, right? So the Coyotes want to bring Stan Mikita Donuts in. But unfortunately, because the Oakview Group already has a deal with, I don't know, McDonald's. You have to work with McDonald's at McDonald's set price, and you can't negotiate it because they know you have to work with them. It's like when you go to a wedding venue and you go, gosh, this wedding venue is really nice. I can't wait to bring my caterer in. And they say, actually, you can't use your caterer. You have to use one of the 3 on this list, which is what a lot of wedding venues do.
Really?
Yes, absolutely.
What a racket.
It's a racket. So the Coyotes will be either required to work with the Oakview Group exclusive venue sponsors, or they cannot work within that space. So you imagine if you can't get a deal done because you can't bring Stan Mikita Donuts in, you bring in, I'm going to say McDonald's.
Lanny McDonald's,
Or no,
to be clear.
Lanny McDonald's, okay? You bringing in Lanny McDonald's, can't do that. Okay, so we're just going to stay out of the fast food and coffee space.
Oh my God.
How
are they going to make it?
That category is like you could eliminate entire categories. Additionally, according to the agreement, there are these clauses. Any alcohol or beer ads must be approved by Arizona State. Arizona State maintains the right to object to any ad that is not in good taste or otherwise in compliance. Obviously, it's a school.
Yep.
Arizona State will receive revenue from the naming rights of the arena. So the money that you make from naming the arena, Arizona's taken some of that, and you're paying them to use their arena, and they're going to take the naming rights money.
Oh my God.
This is how over the barrel the Coyotes have themselves.
Wow.
The Coyotes will not be permitted to sell any temporary advertising that is a competitor or in the same category as ASU sells the naming rights to, which is what we mentioned with the Oakview clause. In-ice advertising will be a revenue source for Arizona State, and the Coyotes aren't allowed to modify the look of the ice surface, including, and this is a big one for people, but if you're a Leafs fan from long ago, you'll remember this, the Arizona State logo at center ice.
It's like the Hamilton Ticats.
On broadcast to protect ASU's permanent advertisers in the building, it is noted that it doesn't and shouldn't impact opposing broadcast filmed at ASU. So, like, we used to have the Hamilton Tiger Cats logo at the center ice for the Maple Leafs in the 70s because our owner was a dick and owned the Hamilton Tiger Cats and wanted to advertise them. And I believe had Tigers at the game.
And that was 55 years ago.
Yes. So the Coyotes, if you're a Coyote player, you will not skate with a Coyote logo on the ice. Now, you might say, well, who cares? It's just ice. I agree with you. But what the Coyotes have set themselves up for is a perennial losing money team that can only sign guys that are either trying to make it in or trying to stay in.
You know they're making the playoffs, right?
Oh, they have to. They have to.
You know there's
going to be some goalie comes out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Karel Vejmelka.
Yeah.
They're gonna. This is how this league works. They're making the playoffs, guys.
And they
But
won't be able to put NHL 23 playoffs on the ice because they do not own the ice rights.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
You know?
Here's what you
like
put.
that little shit won't be there.
Here's what you put at center ice in the video game: the NHL logo, and John Scott has his revenge. There it is, because he didn't get to wear an NHL team's logo at the All-Star game. Remember, they put the NHL logo. John Scott gets his revenge. I think it's a beautiful thing. Just put his face.
I just want to say this. So even if the Coyotes make the playoffs, here's what they're guaranteeing for the next 3 to 4 years, depending upon how long this lease goes. They will
Top line
not
center Travis Boyd.
No, they will not ever come close to not profitability, not even a little bit of money lost. They will not come close to losing the same amount of money that they lost this year. Meaning, and what I mean by that is they will lose far more money this way than they did if they had just paid their bills at Gila.
Yeah.
Like we're talking about, they were already going to lose money. But if you let's say 0 is this, like 0 is at my eyebrows, and where you came in was at my nose, they are guaranteeing that the highest they can get is my chin.
Nipple? Yeah.
Maybe even nipple. That's ridiculous.
Holy cow.
It's crazy how no one's thinking about, how did we get to this point? Because all of this was avoidable if you just run your franchise like a normal franchise and you just try and stay in business and you pay all your bills and you be a good tenant in your building. And they failed in every single aspect. And now we got to scramble with this ridiculous Arizona State arena. And all of this could have been avoided. You have an arena that you currently play in. If you had just any foresight, you'd think about, okay, what are we looking at for the next 10 years? We want to build this new arena in Tempe. Let's go be a good tenant where we are currently so we can get the financing for that new arena and then move there if we think that's going to be the end goal of the franchise. And they didn't do any of that stuff. It's an embarrassment.
Man, this is... I've gone from, what Jesse's saying, this is an embarrassment and this is garbage and this is sub NHL and all that, to now I'm just not even morbidly curious. I'm legitimately, I cannot wait for game 1. I'm watching live. I don't care what I have to do the next day. I don't care what's going on that night. I'm watching.
Of course.
Because don't you want to see the spectacle?
Well, I have a different opinion on it.
What's that?
This might be the thing that helps us avoid our next lockout.
Really?
Because I think it's the one issue that the players and the owners are going to come together on.
This sucks.
If you're the NHL executive, you did not plan for when you built the CBA, you did not plan for a team not at least having the chance at selling 15 to 18,000 tickets a night. Not that the Coyotes ever would, because they have to put a good product on the ice and be close to their fans. But now they don't even have a chance to do that. Now it's 3,200 max. Okay? If you're the players...
4,700. How dare you?
No, it's 3,200 after the renovations.
Oh, my...
Because remember the TV and the dressing rooms and all that other shit.
Which they all have to leave once they leave the stadium.
Once they leave, it's all...
All of that's ASU property.
Underratedly, what broom closet are they going to shove the officials in? Coyotes are going to get 10 penalties a game. Sorry.
Then, on the players' side, when you agreed to this CBA, you agreed in good faith that all of the teams in the NHL were at least trying to make money. When you agreed to a 50-50 rev split, you agreed that, most of the teams were trying to be revenue positive here.
This is what Alan talked about on Agent Provocateur.
Right. But then they didn't put a provision in the CBA for what happens if a team just isn't.
Just doesn't try to make money.
They didn't think about that. Because why would you take $1 billion or $500 million asset and go, how do I make this less good?
Right. How do I intentionally... You
want to balloon the value. It's a great tax write-off. There's a bunch of reasons why you would want to own a franchise at that monetary level if you're a billionaire.
Right.
And I don't know what the PA is going to do, but I don't know what the owners are going to do either. And this may prompt a discussion where you have to exclude the Coyotes from any revenue share conversation on either side. If I'm the player rep, Don Fear, who honestly, it looks like Don Fear's on his way out. Allen's actually one of the people that keeps getting brought up as the guy that's going to take over.
Ooh.
Although Allen said on the show, he's like, I'm a player guy. I'm an agent.
Will he keep doing the show?
What if he was the NHLPA head?
Yeah.
I don't think so. I don't know.
That's bullshit.